good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are. My name is Joseph and I am here to help guide you through your Summer Jam Land Sale Wave 7. This is the last of our Summer Jam Land Sale events, and throughout the next 2 hours, I will be helping guide you through the most effective way to help increase your chances of picking up a land today in our first come, first served sale event. I'll be answering your questions throughout this live stream, so if you do have specific questions, be they about the Sandbox, this sale, VoxEdit, or anything else regarding the Metaverse, I will answer them for you here live on this stream to help get your dying questions all taken care of. Hello. Did you say the back sound is too loud? I can work on that, no worries. Got a little music for you folks today. Oh, we'll turn it down. There we go. Throughout this live stream, once again, I'll be answering your AMA questions, and about every 15 minutes, I'll also be going through 5 critical steps that you will need to know in order to help increase your chances of getting a piece of land today. First question that I have for you, though, everybody who's watching, how are you doing on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? It is 4 a.m. my local time, and I know there were some folks who were watching the live stream earlier today on this lovely Wednesday that is now Thursday. They were watching earlier saying that they would be here with me, living on my west coast of the United States. So I'd like to know, where are you guys from? Where you're tuning in today? Where are you from? Looks like you got some buffering. Love from India. Well, love to you too, the healthy way. Welcome. 4:30 p.m. here. Very good. Just halfway around the world from me then. Very good. Ontario. Brandon, welcome. Quebec. One of the most popular spaces to be in Canada, eh? Forgive me. So, folks, let's go over what we're here for today, what we're doing in this wave number 7. If this is your first land sale ever, today, starting at 1 p.m. UTC, in just under 2 hours, we will be selling 756 one-by-one land NFTs and 302 premium lands, which include the land NFT and additional NFT assets. These will open up in a first-come, first-served basis. Alongside that, we will also have auctions of 3 small estates, 4 medium estates, and 2 large estates that will unlock just after that timer hits 0 through our partner in OpenSea.io. You'll be able to view the map here on sandbox.game, where you can click on the individual estate if you're interested in going out to a URL. That URL will be ready as soon as the sale goes live. The same process will be true about each one of the lands that you have an opportunity to buy today. If you're interested in purchasing a single land plot, you can click on that plot after the timer hits 0, and this pop-in that comes in on the bottom right will give you the price in sand. You can click that, confirm your transaction, and you'll have purchased a land here today. If you would like premium lands, a couple of features about those premium lands. First of all, they are adjacent to each one of our partners today. Now we have, I believe, 7, but we'll double check here in a second. NFT Swapper is one of our partners here today with a 3x3 estate. CryptoArt.ai also having a 3x3 estate. Wicked Craniums has a 6x6 estate today on the map. Olive X with a 12x12. Brand New Vision BNV has a 6x6 estate in this sale, and a 6x6 for Mooncats, and Round 21 with a 3x3. Now, these estates, again, you can find on the map. Each partner has the premium lands right around them. So if you're looking for those partners and you're looking to be close to them, if you're interested in their project and you believe they can be a good draw for your project, then you may want to pick up a premium land around them and enjoy the additional NFTs that are included. Included in these sales, when you purchase a premium land, you will get the 1x1 land NFT. You'll also get the Olive X gym asset, the Bitlectro Labs remix, or Sand Mix, I think is what it's titled specifically, Sandbox Mooncat, Cart Alley Crypto Art. She is kind of a concierge for your space if you would like to use that, or you can use it as an avatar to directly play, or you can use it as an AI kind of adversary if you would like in your experience, if you want to make a game. Or of course, if you have an art style experience in museum, something like that, maybe you just want to have it be the front desk operator and say hello to the people who come into your space. And then the CyberKongz vending machine as well is included, where CyberKongz was a partner in our previous sale in wave number 6. So you'll be able to enjoy those assets here just by picking a premium land in today's sale. The standard 1x1 NFTs, of course, will always be this light gray color. So if you're looking for just the land NFT alone, then look for those light gray tiles as today's sale continues. And we'll be going through that. Forgive me, there is or appears to be a series of spam posts on our Facebook right now. And I will be going through here in just a second. I'm just interrupting our little sale, but I'm going to clean that up really quickly for you guys. Apologies for the wait on this. I want to make sure that I get each one of these potential scammers out of here. I see a lot of them coming through, and they tend to do this when sometimes we'll do a live stream. And when you get, 600,000 people following your Facebook page, it can happen pretty quick. And they kind of all fake like each other and do these sorts of things. But make sure that you never click on any links that you ever see posted inside of our chat that say like, hey, I won Ether, I won, Bitcoin or something like that, because we don't do distribution on those directly in these streams. If we ever do any giveaways, they're NFTs, and specifically, we don't ask for your personal information, just the distribution stuff, like where did you come from? Are you on Twitch or on YouTube? Stuff like that. So never click those links if you ever see them in the chat. And again, I apologize for the intermission on this. There's quite a few of them coming through all at the same time. All right, hopefully that's taken care of, and I won't have to worry about that for the rest of the stream. How you doing, Warcraft Game PK? How are you today? I see you guys. Controlled Alt, yes, spam does suck, Like you want to help people, you want to do this nice productive thing, but as it happens, we try to take care of it anyway and help. Okay, Ayush Sinha says, "Hey, I'm planning to build a story game on the Game Maker. Is there a way to save in-game progress for players?" Sort of. Your experience, generally speaking, should be a single experience for now. A user's going to go through, and if they leave, when they come back, it'll be back to point zero, like the very beginning of their missions. However, if you want to make a sort of save point so that they don't get kicked back if they die, you can always make checkpoints throughout the game. And we do intend to add save options later throughout. We just want to make sure that we have some more core features. Currently, our highest priority is a new physics engine and ranged attacks, among other things that are being added into the client. Save games are, of course, an essential thing, but we want to make sure that we finish the mechanics as we head up to version 1.0. But we are in version 0.6.5 for our game maker, so there's still a lot of room to grow. Excuse me. And we should have that ready for you soon. Let me get a little drink here. Forgive me. I made some tea and I made way too much and it filled the glass all the way to the top. All right. How many sands? So Warcraft Game PK, if you'd like to purchase a land today, the amount of sand you would need is just 1,011 sand tokens. You can see here on this table the 756 lands that are available today will, there we go, 1011 sand for a land 1x1 NFT. If you'd like to purchase a premium land with the additional NFT assets for use inside your games, art experiences, or trade, 4,683 sand tokens for those premium lands. And again, if you pick those up, they are individual NFTs, so you can do whatever you want with each individual NFT whenever. The estate small, the estate medium, the estate large, where it says number of lands, this is the total cumulative number of 1x1 land NFTs, but the number of parcels is the number of auctions that will take place today. So 3 parcels means that there will be 3 different auctions for estate smalls, there will be 4 different auctions for estate mediums, and there will be 2 estate large auctions. Okay. All right, let's see here. John C. asks, no queue system? We will not be doing a queue system on this sale. And in response to your feedback based on the last sale, we're not going to employ in this sale. We will not be doing a limit 1 booking. So you will not have to wait until your land confirms on the blockchain to potentially try to book more than 1 land. However, I do again still project that there are going to be many people trying to book those multiple lands. But what we had found in the last sale was that some users were cranking up their gas rate to like 500 Gwei, and that's not really the intention. So we're still looking for a fair distribution. And so we've taken that part out for this sale, and we are going to bring it back when we have the queue system 100% complete. And again, that last test from last week has been great feedback for us to improve that queue system. So it will be ready, but when it is, the limit 1 would be back without the expectation that a user would spend, again, like 500 Gwei to try to push a transaction super fast, that sort of thing. Because we don't want to have you guys, you know, whether intentionally or unintentionally, putting through these huge fees and putting on undue risk to you. We want to keep it in the interest of fairness all the way through. So hopefully you'll see that when our queue system is ready, that it is as best it possibly can be. All right, let's see. Lilith9 says, hello, this will be my first time buying land. I need to know what to do exactly in the moment after I pick up a land to buy. Well, Lilith, this is kind of up to you, but a lot of users right now that own land are producing content to go onto those lands because the metaverse will be launching soon. And when it does, you will probably want to have an experience for people to play or view on your lands, right? So you can download the Sandbox Game Maker. And this isn't just restricted to games. You can make any experience that you would like to make on your space. But with the Game Maker tool, you can create experiences for people to play or do on your lands. And then when you publish that land, it is your discretion, it's your choice, that the users could either come on to play on your space for free, or you can charge them individual sand tokens to come and play on your space, or you can have people purchase an NFT to have a kind of restricted space only for the people who own that NFT. So that would be essentially like saying, you have a lifetime license to come play on my game, and if they sell that NFT to someone else, then the new person has a lifetime license to come and play on your game or on your art gallery or other kinds of experience or showcase. It may be a social hub that you have that's exclusive to people who own a series of NFTs you've made. It can be all sorts of different things. But that will apply when the metaverse is live. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to get to work on that, or potentially hire somebody to get to work on that. If that's not your intention, maybe you don't want to learn the tools, but it's totally up to you. And those tools that we have are totally code free. You can make things without ever having programmed anything in your life. And it takes just a really short while for people to pick up. I've seen people go in 1 month from never having used the tool before to being top 10 in some of our game jam competitions, winning thousands of dollars. So it's a very easy tool to pick up. If you want to try it, you can download it right now on the website at sandbox.game. Just click the create button and you'll see the game maker right there. When could we publish games on lands? Also, I'm new to this. Can you please explain with an example how one monetizes experiences in the game? Well, Ayush, I think that I just covered each of those kinds of questions, except for the when can we publish games on lands. So publishing games on lands will come when the metaverse opens up. Currently, we have the social hub sections of the metaverse set to open up in about a month from now. And then beyond that, we've got the single player experiences or the seasonal content, and this is exclusive to landowners. You'll be randomly entered into a lottery if you enter for the draw. So you must be a landowner in order to enter for the draw. And then if you do own land and you choose to enter for that draw, then 1,000 people will be selected to be the first people who get to be in the metaverse and experience what some of these games and experiences are like. Beyond that, we will start to open it up to the public, and new experience will come in very quickly when we do open it to the public while the metaverse unlocks. So that's just a little ways away now. But let's talk about, as we are 20 minutes into this, the 5 tips and tricks that you will need to know to help increase your chances of purchasing a land today. These are with the intention that you are optimizing the speed of your PC, the speed of yourself, that you don't make any of the mistakes that many users make. And we have seen these over the last couple of years. I've made some of these mistakes myself, and I'm going to leave them up so that you can see what doing it wrong looks like with the screen that you have here. The first thing is you'll want to check that you have enough sand tokens. As we mentioned here, when you see this, and let me make sure that I zoom out here real quick again. There we go. So you can see the sand tokens on the screen. You'll need 1,011 sand to pick up a 1x1 land today, or for a premium land that includes the additional NFTs that are exclusive to this sale, 4,683 sand. Okay, so you'll need enough sand. But in order to check that you have that sand in your wallet, when you're on the website at sandbox.game, in the top right, you can see the sand that's in your wallet. So if, like me, your wallet says 0 sand, then this would be wrong. And so for the purposes of this demonstration, this is on a different PC, and my main PC holds all of my sand. It's got my ETH and all those other sorts of tokens that I have. So you've got right here the sand. So if you're seeing it says 0, or it says less than 1,011, or it says less than 2,022, however much you know you need to pick up these lands today, make sure that you get that sorted out. You've got about an hour, 38 minutes to get the correct amount of sand that you're interested in. In order to be sure that you are sending it to the right place, you must make sure that the computer that you're working with has the same wallet as your account. So if you go to the bottom left of the screen down here, you can see it says me. You can click on this, and then it's got your wallet address here. So double check that wallet address with the wallet you have on this computer that you're working with. Okay, so if I open up my wallet app right now, I can see that I'm not logged into my wallet. This is step number 2. You'll want to make sure that you are logged into your wallet, that you have enough ETH as well, because there will be an on-chain Ethereum gas transaction fee for this sale. So you can see on this wallet right here, this is not the same account. You can see your account number at the very top of the screen, and it's pretty zoomed out. So I'm going to zoom in again so you guys can see that. So the account number right there, you can see this ends in 2A24. So this PC's wallet would not work. And users have asked this before, so I bring it up here now. You can see the end of my wallet address for the registered account is F743, right? So if I tried to make a purchase on this PC, it wouldn't work because I'm not using the same wallet. So make sure that you are logged into your account, that you're logged into your wallet, that it's all the same stuff. That way, when you go on this map, click on this button and you click to make a transaction, it's sending it to the correct wallet, and you'll get the little pop-up that says, do you want to buy this? Not a lot of users have those potential errors, but I do cover them because I've heard them before. I've heard users say, hey, you know, I have this or that going on. I want to make sure we cover all of the potential issues here on this stream over the next 2 hours. All right, Harris says, hello. After all the land has been sold, what are the team doing? Make another metaverse? Well, Harris, we do intend to have support going for the Sandbox for years to come. We will sell land well before way before like the 5-year, the 10-year target, right? Whatever target you may be thinking here. But our intention is to fully decentralize the metaverse. We don't, at the end of the day, want to have the Sandbox necessarily owning any lands. We want to be able to distribute them, to give them off to partners, to get people working in the space, building great experiences, and having a lot of fun doing it. That is our goal here. And in the Sandbox, for internal support for us working on those things, you can see on our white paper that I believe it's 5%. I double checked that number off the top of my head. But a small portion of each one of these transactions, some of these transactions incomes go to your foundation fund, which allows us to sponsor you and your products. Some of these go to paying the wages of the staff, right, as is normal, right? So our long-term plan is to see the metaverse thriving in a fully decentralized process. And then in order to make sure that the back-end things can continue to run, when one asset transfers from, maybe your hands to another user's hands, then the transaction fee on that helps keep the baseline infrastructure things that connect the decentralization, covered. All right. So hopefully that answers that question. Is there a fee for selling avatars or items? Yes and no. Actually, the fee is not really incurred by you as the seller. How it'll work essentially is, let's say you want to sell something for 1,000 sand. You've made this intricate piece, you've put all the animation in it, and you believe it'll sell for 1,000 sand. So when you list that, the additional 5% or so will be added on automatically. So you'd have 1,050 sand would be what the product would be listed at, and then the 50 sand goes to sponsoring things like the foundation fund, etc. So that's kind of how that works. You won't see it as a fee. The user won't see it as anything other than a clearly advertised, this is what the object costs, and everybody is kind of, it's all good, satisfied with that. So the land is limited. The land is limited, yes. The land is limited to 166,464 lands ever. So when I click return to full map here, you'll see how much of the land roughly has already been sold. And as it all loads in here, kind of these white outlines are going to make it clear and concise early. But each one of the images is loading for me here. You can see some of the space down in the bottom right has been sold. So these have been selling since about 2019. At the end of 2019, we did our first ever land sale, and they've been very slowly rolled out since then. The rollouts will continue through late 2022, maybe early 2023. Our pace currently leads us around there. But you can see here, today's sale is a small portion. When they verify on the blockchain, then they turn green like this, okay? If a user can't place an image. If you purchase an estate, you can modify your image as you see here as kind of a marketing or promotion for yourself. So you can see the space that is selling today is in the upper left portion of the map, but that doesn't affect all that much, really. All that means is that, you'll have certain proximity to partners. And when users load the map at sandbox.game, they'll be scrolling around here, kind of looking for interesting pieces. They may open it up over here. If they're already in an experience, maybe they love the Mooncats and they've loaded into a Mooncat space, they'll also be able to walk from one experience to the other inside the game. So that's kind of a point where adjacency can matter sometimes. When you get a space next to, Olive X or BNV or the NFT swapper space or the crypto art, right? You're kind of going in with the expectation that these are appealing locations, that they may have a good project inside them. And then when users are playing in those spaces or, walking around in those art showcases, when they walk to the edge of that experience, they'll have an opportunity to go to the adjacent game or land. So that's kind of where adjacency comes into effect. And so these will run out, certainly. Right now we're at about, if I was to guess, like 75% allocation for all time. and these will run out within the next year or year and a half, basically. And once they're gone, then it comes down to third-party markets and trading and that sort of thing. But when they are gone, they will be gone, with the exception of fully decentralized trading. Can you talk about the release date or range? Yes, NT. I mentioned just a little bit ago, but we'll go over that here. The release date for Social Hub experiences is set for this summer. So you'll be able to experience that roughly within a month or so, to get into the social hubs and start being able to play around with other players. And then you've got the single player experiences that are part of the season of content for the season 0 kind of alpha test season. So only landowners will be eligible to play in the season 0 test period. And it will also be limited to just 1,000 landowners. So in order to be eligible to possibly win one of those 1,000 spaces, you will have to own a land NFT, and then you'll see via our Discord, our Twitter, etc., the opportunity to apply to get in that lottery, get pulled, and be one of those first 1,000 people to experience the metaverse. So that'll happen just shortly after the Social Hub launch, but we'll have more details on that as it becomes finalized. Those are the details that I am allowed to discuss right now. And we are currently working on those spaces on the experience to make it fun, to make it so that when you do something in one experience, it really means something in all of the others. And you'll see what I mean as we get closer to that. Okay, hi, if I'm not an artist, can I list my work on the marketplace? So Masta, at this time, MastaKai93 asks this, each user must be approved specifically to list on the marketplace. However, we are doing and working on, as you see these rollouts that come in each and every week, we are working on kind of best practice to help inform the users on how to best leverage our marketplace. The marketplace right now, in terms of infrastructure, is working pretty well. In terms of people, being very satisfied with their sale experience, that is also working very well. And so what we'll see as the user-generated content unlocks is, for us to be able to reasonably say, hey, this is how you can best increase your sales inside the marketplace and that sort of thing. Now, leading up to that, you can very soon, you'll be able to, regardless of the artist status or not, you'll be able to upload your assets from VoxEdit to see them inside the Game Maker. And then you'll get still, if we're doing the Game Jam stuff for now, there is special approval for you to get those. But we are just really shortly on the way to that, so you can look forward to that soon. And thank you, Andy, for that. For those people who are asking the question, how much sand is it for a land plot today? If you would like to get the gray spaces here, that is 1,011 sand. So these light gray spaces are the 1x1 land NFT, all by itself. The yellow spaces are the premium lands, which include the additional premium assets that are exclusive to this sale. So let's go over that again. So 4,683 sand will have you picking up a premium land today. There are 302 premium lands available, 756 standard 1x1 lands available. And as we scroll, I'm going to scroll past our partners to show you those additional assets in action. So you can see the BitElectro Labs kind of cassette deck is one of the assets here. You got the cool cats, kitty cat, and that's super cute. I love this cat. It's got a nice Sandbox S on the back. You've got the crypto art AI, and I want to make sure I'm not misplacing that title. So, yep, crypto art AI. And this is more of a concierge character that you'll be able to see inside the game here in just a bit. And this is Crypto Art Alley. And then the Cyber Kong vending machine is also an included asset, and the Olive X kind of gym asset here. Each one of those assets is more of a set piece asset. They are not as interactable, but they can definitely improve the aesthetic of your space if that is what you're looking for. It looks like today the average rate of gas is right about 34 to 59 guai, so a little bit of a wide margin. And this can change minute to minute, but I do want to cover this because one of the steps that you'll need to know to help increasing your chance of getting land today is that these transactions process on the Ethereum main net, which means that you'll need to have a little bit of Ethereum in the same wallet that you have your sand right now. An average transaction fee for our complexity of a smart contract. And a smart contract is where you can give sand knowing that without a middleman, the land is going to be distributed to you automatically. So the average transaction cost is about $23.78 right now. So this is important information for you. You want to make sure you have more than that, I would say, in your Ethereum address in the same wallet where you have sand, just in case this rate goes up. It may go up, it may go down, but we'll see. We have about an hour and a half left before the sale starts. So that's very important information to know. All right. So today, one of the common questions that we will have, we will not be having the queue system yet. We took in some feedback from last week's sale, and we're making some adjustments to that. After introducing the single plot restriction last week, we have removed the single plot restriction from this week for a variety of reasons, one of which being that some users were picking upwards of 500 gas rate. Like they were picking 500 guai when, we're talking about this average of being 32 to 33 right now, and they're going at 500. So we want to avoid you having to spend excessive gas. And so you can look forward to today. There will not be a single land restriction, and this will be a first come, first serve sale. When the queue system is fully complete, we'll roll it all out together. But just know that today we will not have the queue system for you. So I know folks like Andy Ritchie may be excited about that because Andy likes to try to pick up as many lands as possible, as fast as possible. And you guys will have the opportunity to do that today. Totally up to you when you're picking up those lands today. As it is, let's go back to those tips and tricks real quick. Okay, so we talked about you needing sand. We know how much sand we need. We talked about needing a little bit of ETH. We know roughly how much ETH you might need in the same wallet. We talked about making sure that you're using the correct wallet. When you're on your account, you click on the Me section, you look at your wallet, you open your wallet, you make sure those account numbers are the same. So we're using the same wallet. Okay. You want to make sure that you are signed into your account at sandbox.game. And that means clicking the Me button down in the bottom corner, right? When you click that button, if it pops up to this screen, you're good to go. If it does not, it may ask you to log in. It's a good thing we checked. Okay. You'll also want to make sure you're logged into your crypto wallet. So if you are not, then you open up your crypto wallet application. This may be your Bitski account. It might be your Venly account. It may be your Metamask wallet or any other Web3 wallet that is compatible. So if you're using a Metamask wallet, you saw the process just a little bit ago. Just open up your wallet. If it asks you for a password, again, it's a good thing that you checked because you'll want to make sure you have that done. And then tip number 5 that I like to leave for people, some web browsers, some modems and routers can store temporary information inside them, cache data. And this cache data is going to try to already know what you want before you do it. So what does that mean for you? In a sale like this, whether you're doing, these land sales, you're trying to buy concert tickets, something like that, this feature of temporary or cache data can be a disadvantage to you because you are going to run into this situation where, okay, if I push refresh right now on this page, it's going to load as fast as possible the images on the screen, okay? And you see how they all kind of came in that same instant? That's because the web browser says, oh, I already have this picture. I don't need to download it again, okay? But if we get into time, 0, this is a bad thing for cache data to be in your system because you click on this and, it may initially, when you're looking at it, it may be gray. You click on it, it loads up, it's purple, it's already booked, right? So in order to increase the chances that you're seeing real relevant data, You want to clear your cache or temporary data from your browser, potentially turn your modem router off and back on. When we get really close in that last half an hour, I'm not going to suggest people do this because if you clear your cache data on your web browser, it can log you out of the website. It could log you out of your wallet. You'll have to check those again, right? If you turn off your modem or router, it can take up to 30 minutes to turn back on. So these are things that can help make your internet go faster, can help give you more accurate data, but also, again, come with some of those setbacks if you're doing it too late. So if you'd like to do that, you can do that now. Excuse me. If you don't want to do that, that's totally up to you. That's fine. I have made purchases before where I didn't clear my cache data, and it didn't matter. I got the purchase. But I've also had other situations where I didn't clear the cache data, and it looked like the website didn't even load when the time came up because my browser thought, I know what's going on here. I know what's supposed to be here. And by the time I went to click, it was too late. So that's just a tip and trick that I'm going to leave here. And once again, we will only discuss those, the cache data stuff, probably 2 more times before the sale starts. So if you're doing that now, then feel free. You've got a lot of time left. So let's see here. What's the possible cost of the contract signing fees, Vigo? If you look over here at etherscan.io/gas tracker, you can see on this page, if I hit refresh, Uniswap swap. This line right here. So if I go to etherscan.io, you'll see this little section that says median gas price. I'm going to zoom in on this again because I want to make it easy for you to read. So 33 Gwei is the median gas price right now. But if you click that number, it's going to tell you what that means because a lot of people don't know, right? They don't keep track of that. They're not super, blockchain nerds. And that's totally cool if you are. I am. But you can see on this screen, Uniswap swap is about as complex of a smart contract as ours. So the number that you see here, the price you see here, is roughly the same as what our smart contract will cost to execute one today. So if you purchase one land and you want it to, finish the transaction in 3 minutes and 0 seconds, it'll cost about $20.62 to do that on the blockchain. And that'll come out as ETH, not as Sand. So you'll pay the 1,011 Sand to get the 1x1 or the 406,000. I'm sorry, 406,000. That's so silly. 4,683 Sand to pick up the premium land with the additional assets. And then on top of that, you've got the small ETH fee that you see here. So the average rate is actually pretty good. In the last week or so, we've seen this Gwei number go up as high as 1,300. And that wasn't with relation to our sales in particular, but I've definitely seen that in the recent past. So it's very good to see it down to just 32 right now. Some sales, of course, it's been as low as 5. Those are super lucky days, right, where things aren't as popular on the ETH blockchain in that moment. But we'll see where it goes. About an hour, 20 minutes left before the sale. So this can go up or down. I would recommend if you are buying ETH that you get more than you expect. Just for the purposes of, if it does go up, you're covered, you're good. Also, when it comes to choosing how much ETH you want to spend for your Gwei transaction, when you go to purchase a land, when you click on this, when you click the buy button, it's going to ask you if you want to do a slow transaction speed, a medium speed, a high speed. Okay. It's important to understand that your booking or your reservation for the space that you click, if you're the first person who clicks it and you're the first person who books it, your booking will still only last for an hour. So if you chose a low speed transaction and this timer set an hour and 20 minutes, then you're not guaranteeing that you can actually buy the land because your booking will expire after an hour. So you'll need to see when you look at the times on these that the average time or the low time or the high time, whatever you pick, is going to get done before an hour. And what can often happen during some of these sales is that the high speed cranks up really high, possibly. And that could happen because of any number of things. Obviously, our sale is going to be popular. It's going to sell out pretty quick. But we may also see, as times have happened in the past, that another project opens up the doors at the same time. And it's really, really difficult as a company to know every project on the blockchain that'll ever open up or have a sale or do anything like that. So our sales have generally not had this issue, but one time before, the price, the average cost went from like 30, 40, somewhere in that range to like 150 within a 5-minute period. And so everybody who had a less than or a greater than 5-minute transaction speed on that particular sale was waiting longer than an hour, and all their bookings expired. So it's important to understand that. Normally, how much gas being used in terms of a number of ETH, you'll have to do this conversion. Because again, this changes minute to minute. You can see in the top right, it updating every 10 seconds, and these numbers are moving around. So in terms of what is normal on ETH, it's not really such a thing as normal. It's mostly just like, what does the market decide? What do the people on average want, or what are they willing to spend to make a transaction happen? So those are things just to look out for. Let's see here. As I go back to the map here really quickly, one thing to note is that if you are looking to get a premium land, you also have an opportunity right now, I believe. If we go over to the market and we click land, there's still 28 lands from the previous land sale that are available. So if you're looking to get these premium lands that include some of those assets, and you just want to get it right now, and you want to be sure that you get it locked in, you have an opportunity to do that right now if you want to go to the market. These are the lands from last week's sale. So you can just click on market and click land and you guys can't see that interface. One second. So you can see here on the bottom left, if we are on the main page and we click this market tab right here, this orange one, and then you go to the bottom and you click land, there are 28 available from last week's sales that are the premium lands. So if you want to get those near last week's partners, maybe you just learned about the Sandbox and you see some of those partners and you're more interested in those spaces, then feel free to go over to that marketplace. You can see quite clearly where they are on the map. If you want to compare it, you can click on the map here. You can click return to full map, and it is going to load that up. And you can see in the CyberKong space roughly where those are. You could also purchase them from the map here, where you click on it and you click buy it with sand. Oh, it looks like that pop-out doesn't work right now, but forgive me. You will be able to buy it from the market icon if you want to. So you can see it kind of pop up briefly, but it closed because we're in the pre-sale portion. And so it's coded only to have the sale unlock at this time, but the market button should work just great. So that's, let's see. During the previous sale, I was rejected twice and lost over $30. Well, Vago, what I would say to do, and this has happened in the past, but it's possible that you have clicked on a space that someone else has also clicked on at the same time. And so in order to help kind of avoid this, we are, again, removing the single land restriction that we had in the last sale. And again, this is going to lend more to the first come, first serve basis. But we want you to have as much chance to not have that happen as possible. So we're going over these steps to make sure that you can have the most optimum connection quality that you possibly can to increase your chance. You're going to have the most optimum computer speed quality, likely to see the most accurate data if you clear the cache on your browser. If you restart your modem router, your internet will be faster. That sort of stuff. That's why I leave those tips there. And then beyond that is making sure that you have enough of each. The only times that happens where you may have your transaction fail is if you click on one of these and you click buy, but someone else has already purchased it. So we're hoping to avoid those kinds of issues here today by going back to the tried and true system, and then we will launch the QIT system in full capacity as soon as that is finished. Controlled Alt, it says, if premiums don't sell, where do we find out when they get converted to regular? Well, Controlled Alt, we don't have intention to convert these to regular. In terms of that, we will allow them to be purchased through the market tab. And that was a decision back in the early parts of this summer sale. We want to see kind of the long-term supply and how that kind of trickles out and moves out. Looks like over the last week, the remaining lands that were available from that last sale, the remaining premiums have sold for the most part. There's only a couple left there. And so if that is the case, where it takes a couple of extra days to sell the last premium lands, then there's not really a reason that they get converted to regular lands. It's just really a question of you know, possibly changing the assets and that sort of thing. And we won't, of course, be changing the assets from this sale. They will stay the way that they are until they sell out. But there's a lot of different things that we look at, that we consider, that we test, that we try as we go from one sale to the next, to see kind of where you guys are as the market. What do you want to see, and where things are going? We know, of course, because we did this one time where we turned everything over into just standard lands with no additional NFTs, and they sold out within a couple seconds. So we know that the lands have demand, and the question is, how much of that turns over to the premium space and the long term, because again, if it's only going to take a week for the rest of those to sell, then that may not be a bad thing, because users who are coming in looking for premium lands and maybe don't have the best internet speed, or they just learned about the Sandbox, are still going to have an opportunity to get it at a great price. All right, so let's go ahead and go over again what we are doing here in this sale. Really quick, I'm going to get a little drink here. We're going to zoom in on this content so you guys can see the lands, what they cost, how many there are, etc. All right, so in today's sale, we have 756 standard 1x1 land NFTs. That is just the land NFT alone, that allows you to create an experience or a game, totally up to you, using the Sandbox Game Maker software. Those lands are represented on the map as light gray, kind of bluish icons or buttons or land spaces. These land NFTs are 96 meters north-south, 96 meters east-west, and 128 meters vertical. So there's a whole bunch of space to work inside these games. And that will be true whether you're purchasing the 1x1 standard or the premium land. The premium lands, there will be 302 premium lands available today for 4,683 sand. 302 of them. These premium lands are unique because they include the NFTs here that you can see on the screen. These NFTs are shown as represented inside the Sandbox Game Maker client. So you'll be able to use these for any number of purposes. The Olive X Gold Gem, the CyberKong's vending machine, and the Bitlectro Labs cassette are each art set pieces where their animations are defined as you see on the screen here. The Olive X asset doesn't necessarily kind of move around here as you see. This is our showcase there. The CyberKong's vending machine, once again, is kind of a similar situation. And then separate from those, the Crypto AI asset and the Mooncat are interactive pre-animated assets that you can use. With the Crypto AI asset, could be used as, again, a concierge. It could be used as your main character if you would like. You could use it as an NPC that you combat against if you would like. All sorts of different purposes for this. You could use it as a predator, as a prey asset, which is to say, as a predator, it attacks things that come into radius. As a prey, it runs away from things that come into radius. And all sorts of different functions can be used by that. Because it is an avatar style, this is known as a standard kind of human format. So it's all predefined, and as new animations come in, this avatar style character can represent those new animations as our templates expand. The Mooncat, operating as kind of like this small woodland creature. Obviously, you can see it's a beautiful Mooncat asset with the Sandbox S logo on the back. This is, again, an interactable AI style character. You could make it the main character of an adventure if you would like. We've seen people take things like this, like squirrels, and turn them into the main character of an adventure. You can absolutely do that as well. So lots of different functionality with these assets, lots of different usabilities there, and these are all included in the premium NFT bundle. Partners for this sale include NFT Swapper, Crypto Art AI, Wicked Craniums, Olive X, Brand New Vision, Mooncats, and Round 21. You'll see their estates on the map, so when you are looking at those premium lands, those are the closest to each one of those partners. And part of the advantage of those premium lands is their adjacency to those partners, because the partners will very likely have projects that people are wanting to be in, around, on. They are big landmarks on the map where people might click in and say, let me go play in that experience right now. So if you're looking for adjacency, then of course the premium lands are great for that. You've got some good adjacency otherwise with the one-by-one land NFTs. And if you click return to full map, you may be able to find yourself with some nice adjacency to other projects around those one-by-ones a little more quietly, a little more secretly. But again, clicking on the regular map button, this is advantageous if you're a buyer today, because when the timer hits 0, this part of the page that moves, right? That is the part that refreshes when the timer hits 0. You don't need to push the refresh button when it hits 0. The website will automatically refresh. So when it does, this right here, you'll be able to click on a space after the timer hits 0. You'll be able to click buy in the bottom right. And let me zoom out so you can again see what that looks like. So this pop-out comes out when you click on a space. You don't want to have this already out when the timer hits 0. You'll want to make sure that the pop-out is not open. And then when the timer hits 0, when you click this, then it will give you the button to buy. Okay. So that's important information to have. Let's see. Got some questions here. When is the next land sale? Missed wave 6, but couldn't buy wave 1 through 5. Well, John C., the next land sale is happening in 1 hour and 4 minutes. And we will have more announcements about future land sales beyond this Summer Jam sale as soon as we can for you. I am in regular meetings about that, but, you know, we have to make sure everything is sorted out. Everything is in line. All those assets are ready and approved from the content, brands, the creators, all that sort of stuff. So we get everything lined up for you. And then once it's all lined up, then we make those announcements. So that'll be coming up soon. But I can't give you the date just yet. Just know that we have a land sale coming up in 1 hour and 4 minutes from now. It's happening right here. If you click on the map, you'll be able to see the lands that will unlock in just a few minutes. Do you know when the Sandbox is coming to Mac OS? Well, Dude 750, we have the Sandbox Game Maker actively in development for Mac OS. They have a little bit of catch up to do, however, because the last time we had a Mac OS version was 0.3.5. And in order to make sure that they've got all of the proper updates, we expect that it's going to take some time. It's possible that it could be as early as 0.7, but I believe that it's set for 0.8, maybe longer. This really totally depends on, again, making sure that the features are identical, because we want to be able to have as many people participate in the game jam as possible, but it would be a really bad thing if the Mac OS version didn't have as many features as the Windows version, because then you're not really playing on even ground. We don't want Mac developers to feel like they're at a disadvantage, right? So we're catching up that software and getting it there. We do have a dedicated team for that right now. All right, so we got about 1 hour, 2 minutes left here. Important things to know for you to increase your chances of getting the 1x1 land NFT or premium land NFT today in our first come, first served sale. 1,011 sand for any of the 756 available lands today. 4,683 sand for any of the available 302 premium lands today. The premium lands, of course, include the NFTs I mentioned just a short while ago. We talked about the partners, so let's talk about some other details. Ethereum gas tracker on etherscan.io right now shows that the average GUI rate seems to be going down a little bit over the last 20 minutes. Hopefully, it stays low, but this can change minute to minute. So the Uniswap swap figure, if you're on etherscan.io, if you're on their website and you click this median gas price, you'll get to the same page that I am. Uniswap swap represents about the same complexity as our smart contract, meaning that if you wanted to do an average transaction that takes about 3 minutes and 0 seconds right now, it would cost about $21.16. This can change over the course of the next hour, but we'll keep you updated with that. What that really means is that you'll need to see in your ETH wallet the amount of ETH you have in the wallet, the amount of sand you have in the wallet. You'll want to make sure you have enough sand. You want to make sure you have enough ETH. I can see here there's an estimate for this amount of ETH. It's about $50. So I'd be good. If this was all the ETH that I had in this wallet to use for this land sale, I'd be good to go for a transaction or two before I would need to have more ETH in my wallet. So just keep that in mind as you're executing each of the individual smart contracts that you want to do, that you'll have to have enough ETH in your account in order to process it on the Ethereum blockchain. You'll also need to have enough sand in your account, as we mentioned for the sand rate here, right? You'll need to have enough sand in your account, the same one that you have the ETH in, the same one that is associated with your wallet on the me section of the website here, okay? If you have all those things, then you're good to go. You're ready to go for this sale. The other kinds of tips and tricks you may want to do, since there is an hour left, we'll talk about this. You might want to restart your modem or router, which will increase your internet connectivity, quality, whether it be speed, reliability, those sorts of things, because your modems and routers can store temporary data as they're on for a long amount of time to make them kind of slow down. They make them kind of chug along. So if you restart that before the sale, it should be good to go. It may take anywhere between, 5 minutes to restart and 30 minutes to restart, but we've got an hour left, so you're good. You're in the clear if you haven't done that yet. You may also want to clear temporary data in your web browser, but not clear your passwords. Don't clear, that sort of stuff, but just clear the temporary data that's in that web browser, because your web browser may go to load this page. If I push F5 right now and I reload it, you'll see that all the images appear to spawn like instantly all together, because my web browser says, I already know what this image is. I already have it here, and it loads it automatically. But in a first come, first serve sale, whether it's these land sales or you're trying to buy concert tickets or something like that, that can be a downside. That's a disadvantage, because when you try to do that, you want to see the most real data. You don't want to see what your web browser thinks you're supposed to see. You want to see what's actually happening. So if you clear your temporary data, then when it does hit 0 and things are loading live, you're more likely to see the real and live result. So this has been true. The user response has always been really strong to these different feedbacks as we go through them. And I'll highlight them again probably about 2 or 3 more times before we get to the sale itself. But once this timer gets down to 30 minutes, I won't talk about modem routers. I won't talk about clearing cache data, because that can take a while for you, and I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to pick up lands today. But again, during this sale as well, if you have questions about the sandbox or you have questions about the process, feel free to ask them here in the comments, and I'm going to check on those right now. Kim Shutt asks over on youtube.com, is it possible to buy 2 lands at once if clicking on 2 available lands? Yes, it is. In this particular sale, and this was not true last week, but we're unlocking it this week. If you click on this land right here, and you can click pick up for 1,011 sand, and you click on this land right here, and you can click that. If you're the first person to click them, then you have the booking on those for up to an hour. Then, from that point, you can open your wallet, and you can click confirm this transaction, confirm this other transaction. Now, because that is true, we've also run into a situation where some people get too excited. Let's say you had 2,500 sand in your account. You click on this, you click buy, and this one, and you click buy, and you click this one and click buy. Well, you would need, in order to buy those 3, you would need 3,033 sand to be able to buy those lands. Okay, so you only have 2,500, but you got excited and you clicked all 3. So that's probably going to happen to a couple of people Maybe they're watching this stream, maybe they're not, but they may overbook. So what will happen is that the lands will also, about an hour later, re-unlock. Also, this can happen if a user tries to book it and they don't even confirm it in their wallet. If they don't confirm it in their wallet, then again, it will expire after the hour. So it may be the case. I've seen it from, Panda Pops. I stream with her on Monday on this official channel. Panda Pops has mentioned before that they've sat here through the hour and they've been able to pick up additional lands that have expired. So if you're interested, if you still see them being purple as it goes, maybe hang out. You could potentially pick those up. Okay, NT asks, what happens with the blue lands booked by Sandbox Game in the future? NT, just a couple of weeks ago, we announced the winners of the Sandbox Game Game Jam number 4. The top 10 winners won sand tokens for creating games in the Sandbox Game Maker and a 1x1 land NFT. Those experiences will later be published inside the metaverse for the most part. If they were designed on a 1x1, well, now that creator can automatically publish it into a space like this one, wherever it is allocated. We also had a special announcement at the end of that land sale, or excuse me, the end of that competition, that all 62 entrants, because of how many really great games were submitted in that competition, all 62 entrants were given a 1x1 land NFT. So everyone was rewarded for their work in that Game Jam competition. We have a Game Jam that just ended, and we are voting on those games right now. We also have a Game Jam that is coming up soon. So that's what we use those for, among other things. You can also apply if you go to gamefund.sandbox.game. You can apply to be a creator working on game experiences that are part of the seasonal content. Okay, so if you're interested in doing that, feel free to show off your portfolio of work, and the applicants that are accepted come into our game fund. They get paid in sand to make some creations. They get lands, that sort of thing. Different kinds of grants are available as part of the foundation fund. So if you'd like more details on the foundation fund, you can look at our white paper and see how we sponsor people through the foundation fund and how that will expand over the next 5 years. Andy Ritchie says, I won a 1x1 near Atari in the Game Jam. 100% worth doing. So if you're just watching and you're watching over on YouTube and you're trying to see kind of what all of those are for, there are many of them. And that's an interesting thing, is all of these little blue tiles are sprawled all across the metaverse. So it's possible to get some in spaces that people would pay a great deal of money to be anywhere near. And you could see all of these kind of unlocking here. See all these little blue tiles near the Atari space. This is from our Moon sale events, which happened, 8 months or so ago. But those tiles near Atari in that area are pretty well gone. It looks like almost all of the blue tiles in the second sale we ever did, which is, excuse me, it looks like it was flickering. I apologize for that. You can see there's a couple of them left in some of our kind of first sales ever. There's a couple little blue squares here, and those are close to the 0 area, so they're in pretty nice space. We've got a lot of space available still around here, around Binet. It looks like if I'm not zoomed in to a certain level, it looks like it's flickering green, and I apologize for that. I'll have to look at my HDMI input after this. But you can see those spaces there doing that. Toad Ogre says, I was in the top 10 in the Glitch Game Jam. At what point will I receive the land and be able to publish my game? Toad, you should already have received that land inside Glitch Game Jam. I'm sorry, that's the one we're talking about right now. Distribution on that is almost done. We are making sure we have the addresses for all of the 62 entrants and then the top 10 as well, the sand and that sort of thing. So distribution on that was slightly delayed only because Sebastian hadn't had a vacation in, I think, a year and a half. He was able to take a 2-week vacation after that event. So congratulations on that. It's pretty nice. All right, so we got 51 minutes left here. Let's go over once again some of those key points here for this sale. This is wave number 7, starting here on August 12th. And at 1 p.m. UTC, 756 one-by-one land NFTs will go on sale. In the very top left of the map, you can see up here, when you click on map, you will load only the relevant tiles, which is super important. You can see those here. And we have 302 premium lands as well available for sale today. These will unlock when the timer hits 0, about 50 minutes or so away from that. Partners in this sale include NFT Swapper, CryptoArt.ai, Wicked Craniums, Olive X, Brand New Vision BNV, Mooncats, and Round 21. There will be multiple estates sold over a 24-hour period. The auctions will start as soon as the timer hits 0. So if you are not looking for a one-by-one land NFT and you would like to have an estate instead, those auctions will open up just shortly after the timer hits 0 through our partner at OpenSea.io. We have 3 small estates unlocking for that auction. We have 4 medium estates and 2 large estates available. If you look at the map here, you can see where they are on the map. The upper left here, this estate, this 12 by 12, particularly interesting, I would think, that if you are in an upper left corner of the map, for me personally, this is one of those like secret spots where I think that a user could maybe, how do I want to put this? Like you're guaranteed to get attention up there in a certain way, right? Because there are some users that will just do that. Like they'll just think like, I want to go all the way up and over here. What's up and over there? So I think that that's a unique estate in this particular sale in terms of what's on auction. It's probably my favorite for this particular auction for that reason, that you get that, you know, there's nothing else really around when you're looking at the map. It's a thing that catches your eye in that top corner. You can put a nice logo up there and, you know, you're kind of assured to be seen in a certain way. So that's interesting there. But once again, each one of these estates, if you want to look and see where they are, these auctions will open up just a couple of minutes after the sale starts. Roy Goob says it's the edge of the world. And it kind of is, actually. That's an interesting point. When you're looking at the map, if you're wondering what lands will unlock in the future, what lands will become, you know, available for you to purchase at some later date, you can see as we zoom in on this, and I'm going to zoom all the way in just so you can see what I'm talking about here. You see how the tiles kind of end there? And it gets just a little bit lighter blue on that outer edge. Okay, so that's representing that among the 166,464 lands that will ever be, this is the furthest northwest when you look at that. So it's on the edge of the world in 2 spaces. And once again, that's kind of one of the reasons why I find that to be an interesting tile. Because as users are looking around for a place to kind of put their first steps in the metaverse, that may be the place that they want to go because it is the edge of the world as you know it. All right, Roy Goob says, be right back, resetting internet. Don't wait too long for that, guys. And this is definitely Roy's like millionth sale. I know I see Roy Goob in here in almost each and every sale. They were here last week attempting to make those purchases. So again, I would recommend you do that early, not later. You know, if we get past that 30-minute mark, I would say not doing that at that point. But doing it now is probably your best opportunity to do that reset. As we get closer here, let's talk more about what it's going to take to make a purchase here today. Once again, you need 1,011 sand tokens, 4,683 sand tokens. Those are the 2 different rates. If you would like a standard one-by-one land with no additional NFTs, just the land itself, 1,011 sand will need to be in your wallet today. Premium lands that include the additional NFTs be 4,683 sand today. On top of that, in order to process the transaction on the Ethereum blockchain, you will need a small amount of ETH. Currently, This is a little bit higher than when we looked just a couple of minutes ago, and so I'm going to continue to look at this as we get closer to the sale. Currently, the transaction fee, this is about as complex as the Uniswap swap for our smart contract, $25.53 right now, okay? And if I press refresh, that just this second has gone down to 1806. So you can see how it kind of bounces around, how it kind of moves from minute to minute. That being the case, I would recommend that you hold more ETH in your account than you would estimate. Try not to hold the minimum amount of ETH, just in case this goes up very rapidly as our sale starts. Just again, a couple of seconds later, now it's $19.90. So you can see how it changes just on that moment-to-moment notice. So if you're holding enough ETH in your account and you're holding enough sand in your account, you'll be able to pick up that land today on the map right here. When the timer hits 0, after it hits 0, you can click on a land, right? And I'm going to zoom out to show you this again. Click on that land, and the box will come out here on the right side. At the bottom, kind of right behind where you see the palm tree on your screen right now, there will be a button that says buy for a certain amount of sand. If it's the premium lands, of course, it's the premium sand price. If it's the standard lands, it's the standard land price. So you'll have that. You're good to go there. Before we get to that 0 point, you'll also want to check and make sure that you are logged into your account, because I have seen and I have been the user who was not logged into their account before. So in the bottom left, down here, behind my head, you'll see it says me. If you click on that and it comes right to this screen, you're good. But if it comes up and it asks you to log in, well, it's a good thing that we checked for that. Because if you're not logged in, when you try to buy a land, it'll say you can't do that. We don't know who you are, right? So check that. And then also, you'll need to open up your crypto wallet, whether it is your Bitski wallet, maybe you're using a Venly wallet, or you're using the Metamask or other Web3 wallet. You'll want to make sure you open up that wallet app, and then it may immediately ask you for a password. If it asks you for a password, once again, it's a good thing we checked, because if you were to click on a land and you try to click buy, but you're not logged in, when that transaction has nowhere to go, if it has no wallet to ask the question, after about 30 seconds, it will cancel the booking. So you need to be logged into that wallet before you make that attempt. And then once again, if you're looking to buy more than one land today, make sure that you have enough sand to cover multiple transactions, multiple transaction fees, because each individual square is its own smart contract. So you'll need to process each one individually on the ETH blockchain. Okay. And so on the other side of that, you may also, as a buyer, run into a situation where if you hang out and you wait, after about an hour, some of those people who booked and they aren't watching this stream, they didn't know, they weren't looking at their balances, they may not end up buying a land, but they'll have it booked. And after an hour, that booking will re-unlock and a different person can book it then. So look out for that if you're interested in hanging out after this timer hits 0. We'll continue to answer questions for about 15 to 30 minutes after the stream. And again, if you have questions at any point, feel free to ask them in the chat right now. I can see all of the services all at once, so I'll be able to address that rapidly. Danny Bastings says, Blue Land is reserved for future partnerships, prizes from game jams, etc. So yes, absolutely, that is true. So those little blue tiles that you see on our map here today, just know that in the future, that's another thing about buying the individual lands, is being around the little blue tiles may be advantageous as well, because you're seeing great content creators be rewarded these little blue tiles. So in terms of the long term, if I was a game jam entrant and I had a great game and I won this blue tile right here, well, you're now next to that, and I'm a known creator, and etc. A good experience is going to be on there. So there's all sorts of different advantages to potentially being around even the small blue tiles. So an interesting point there. Hello, do you see me? I do see you, King Duo. All right. Let's see. Hi, is there going to be a Wizzy giveaway today? As much as I know, we didn't have a stream on last Saturday. Ah, yes. So you can roll that Wizzy today. Well, Arrow Barrow, last Saturday was a result of a couple of different things. My daughter actually had gotten ill. So we had to take her in for COVID testing just to make sure you got to be safe. And at the same time, Alex's brother had come into town, and his brother doesn't live really anywhere near him. So it kind of just worked out that way. It wasn't really expected that we weren't going to have that sale, but those two things kind of came together. I'm trying to get back into like a normal life, normal mode sort of situation as America gets a lot more vaccinated. Again, I apologize. It's kind of way far off the part there, but my daughter was like interacting with other humans, and it'll be interesting to see how this goes as we start to interact with more humans, how much more like, common cold we see as people haven't seen each other for a year in some cases, right? So she is doing better. It was just a regular old common cold, which was very good. Very happy to see that, because, some of those longer term implications of that COVID situation can, lead to like asthma and stuff. So I was relieved to see that, but it's all good there. Everybody is doing great. She's already up and about and totally cool. Everything's fine and fun. So anyway, let's get back to it here. Any questions about the sandbox? Once again, feel free to ask, whether it be asset creation with Vox Edit. It could be about the game maker software. It could be about the metaverse itself, projected futures. Maybe it's about the principles of the token itself. Whatever you want to ask, feel free to ask it in the chat as we continue. We got about 39 minutes left here in this here. How about a Discord hunt? Mastakai, the Discord hunt rewards, I believe, are being distributed right now, but those are going to be on the updated nft.sandbox.game page when they are released, I think. I'd have to double check. Our guy Nick handles that usually each and every week. Let's see. King Duo says, I had downloaded this app because I saw advertising. I really don't know that much. Can you tell me some stuff? My English, not so good. Well, King Duo, since you are watching on YouTube, you should be able to click the closed captioning button. If that is not working right now, I apologize. I can fix that, but it would have to be on the next land sale. But the core part of our game is our game maker. The culture that we have is that we want you to be able to create any game or experience that you want. You can make anything. You can make anything without having to know coding. And if you do make those things, owning a land allows you to publish that game so that anyone in the world can play. And that is the core part of the sandbox. There's, of course, much more to go into, but I want to make sure that I get everyone's sale questions answered, because in 38 minutes, we are selling more of these land NFTs. So if you would like to follow the channel, watch our live stream. We have another one coming on Saturday where we will show the game maker, and you'll be able to see what it's like to make and how easy it is to make inside the game maker games and experiences. Let's see. Last time I clicked buy land button and Metamask asked to confirm, and then the error. Does Metamask have to confirm to book the land? John C. No. Metamask does not have to confirm to book the land. We noticed in the last sale that there were a lot of users doing a very high amount of gas rate because we had restricted it to just one land. So we are fixing that in this sale. We are not restricting it to just one land. You can click book, click another one, click book. You can do that for as long as they're available, and then go into your transactions. Just keep in mind that from the moment you click the little button in the bottom right, I'm going to show you this again. If I click on this land, you'll see that pop-up come in, and down right there behind the palm tree in the bottom corner over here, there will be a button that says a certain number of sand. It says like 1,011 sand for this standard land right here. So if I was to click that, I have booked it. And if you try to book multiple, just keep in mind that from the time that the first one is booked, if you're the first person to click it and you and another person didn't click it in the same second, then you have an hour to confirm your transaction on the blockchain. However, and this is part of why we're working on that queue system, if you and another user click it in the same second, where your responses get to the server at the same time, you may have a chance to both people be trying to book it and buy it at the same time. Okay. So in that case, then just the people who chose the higher gas rate, that one person, whoever confirms it on the blockchain first, would get the land. And it is, again, an unfortunate consequence of things becoming so popular so fast in the play to earn economy, in the Sandbox specifically. So in previous sales, this wasn't an issue for us because maybe, like back when I was doing this, if we go back to the full map, so I was making purchases first in pre-sale number 2 before I started working for the Sandbox, and I was just interested and passionate about the project and ready to get to work on making games and doing these things. I think I was in like this section right here, somewhere around this area, and I was able to click on the individual land and click the next one. And obviously this isn't the area because I'm not Rio, but I was able to click on multiples of them. And you can actually see Rio doing this if you look at the username there in the top right. These are almost all owned by Rio because they were able to click them individually and buy them because there was that much time. It wasn't an issue. There was almost no chance that people were going to double book. But now, as things are getting super popular, some of these land sales during the summer sale have sold out in literally seconds. Or less. I think one was literally 1 second where it just went boop and everything was all at once. Like there were that many people trying to use it. And I would expect that during that sale, there were probably a couple of people who had their transaction rejected because it was double booked in that case. But we're trying to build up that system. Last week, we tried or tested a piece of the queue system, which was last week. We restricted it so that you could only buy one land and it must confirm on chain before you could book again. This week we turned that off and we are implementing that feature from last week into the queue system, but the queue system wasn't done. We got the feedback from that. We got the metrics from that, and we want to make some adjustments. So based on last week's test, essentially our live test, we are making some changes. But when that is ready, when the queue system is ready, we'll have it out there for you. We'll have a full press release for you with like what it can do, how to do it, blah, blah, blah. And get it good. All right. How big is 1x1 land actually, Veros? And this is a great question. So a 1x1 land, a person, me, I stand up, I'm 2 meters tall, a fully grown adult on average, something in that range, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. But in the metaverse, an avatar is exactly 2 meters tall. The land, a 1x1 land, will be 96 meters wide and 96 meters long and 128 meters tall. So you've got a ton of space to work with. Compared to some other metaverses, this is upwards of 30 times larger in terms of buildable space. And it has been found that if a user wanted to make a complete game experience, depending on their game, they could end up spending hundreds of hours with our tool, even though it is a no-code tool and it is quite simple to work with. There's so much space that you could spend hundreds of hours making games for it. So that is an interesting thing about these spaces, that they are definitely not small. The estates, when you put the avatar on them and you try to take a picture of an entire 3x3 estate, you almost can't see the avatar. It's so small compared to the estate, right? So if you're looking at estates today, you're looking to pick up one of those on auction, then feel free, click on one of these estates right after the sale starts. You'll see a button that says go over to OpenSea.io, and you'll have an opportunity to buy them there. So we've got about, as I mentioned, 32 minutes left. So I want to go over those tips and tricks one more time. We will not, of course, be going over the final tip. I would say at this stage, don't reset cache data. Don't restart your modem router because there's only 30 minutes left. And if you don't pick up land today, just know that you would increase your chances of doing so in the next sale So hold on to your sand. If everything sells out and you're not able to pick up a land, rest assured that 1011 sand will always be the amount of sand you will need to pick up a 1x1 land NFT in future sales. So it's okay if you don't get this today. You can always get it in the next sale. Just hold on to the sand and it will be there for you. We're going to continue to have sales through late 2022, maybe into 2023, depending on how big each individual sale is. So there will be lots of opportunity for you to pick up lands. So if you do miss your opportunity today, you'll see an announcement coming very shortly for our next land sale. So those tips and tricks that you'll need to know. First, of course, you'll need to have enough sand in your account. So land NFTs that we sell here today will require that you have sand in order to purchase them. The amount of sand that you will need is 1011 sand tokens. Those 1011 sand tokens are for the 756 available 1x1 lands that we have here today. If you would like a premium land that includes additional NFTs, 302 premium lands will be available for 4,683 sand. Those premium lands include the land parcel and these lovely little assets. So you can use these assets inside the game maker for your art project or for your game experience. Totally up to you. Whatever you want to do with them, you can use them however you wish. Interestingly, here in the top right, those top two assets, the crypto AI concierge, this character here can be used for all sorts of different things. It is a standard human template, which means that it is pre-encoded with all of the actions that you could use as a main player character. You could use it as a NPC that you are in combat against. You could use it as an NPC you're in combat aside. You could use it as a predator, which means that it would attack anything that came in proximity. You could use it as a prey, which is to say it would run away from anything in proximity. You could use it as, as I mentioned, a concierge, so that it's the first thing you see when you come into an experience or when users come into your experience, right? So you could have this as a front desk person, and you could have text come up and say, hello and welcome to the land of user. If you'd like to experience this, go over here. If you want to do this, go over there. And you could have multiple text prompts and pop-ups and that sort of thing. You could have it directly issue a quest, all sorts of different functions you can use with these human default templates, lots of different functionality. And then again, on the top right here, you've got the Moon Cat, which is our interpretation of Moon Cats and their fantastic NFT project that partnered with us this week. They're super cute, super popular. This Moon Cat specifically shows the Sandbox S on its back. It is unique again to this sale. So you can only get it through Wave 6, Wave 7 of the Summer Jam. Any of these assets, unique to that, of course. But this little kitty cat can, just like the main humanoid character, be used as a main character if you want, or as a side character, or as a predator, or as a prey, or all sorts of different things inside the Sandbox game maker. So those things are all included with the premium lands that you see here on the map. Premium lands are all of the yellow tiles. So if you were to click on one of those, you can see the assets that are included are identified here on the right. Let me zoom out so that that's clear again. So the pop-out shows you all of the assets that are included and the land itself and its location. So you'll get all 6 of those things for the 4,683 sand price. Pretty good deal. It looks like currently there are a couple of lands that were available from the last land sale that you could pick up right now. If you don't want to have to wait, you can open up the market. You can click on these lands and you can buy them directly in the market that you can't buy on the map, and they are from the previous land sale. So if you're interested, you're excited, you don't want to have to wait for the 27 minutes, you can pick up those lands, just keeping in mind that they will be around different partners. If you click return to full map, you can see a few of them that are still available. Some of them still around Game, the MeBits DAO. There's some here around Bitlectro Labs. So if you're interested in those, you can pick those up immediately. You don't have to wait for the timer to end. But if you want to pick up the lands that are exclusive to today's sale, then stick with us here. About 26 minutes left. So if you have your sand tokens, One thing to keep in mind is that this will happen on the Ethereum blockchain today. So all of these transactions are going to verify on the Ethereum main network. So you will need your sand in order to be able to make a purchase. And you'll also need some Ethereum in your wallet. How much you will need is going to vary minute to minute. However, the Uniswap swap line, if we're over here on etherscan.io, if you surf there, you'll see a little thing right next to this graph that says median gas price or MEAD gas price. You can click the number and it's going to tell you almost exactly what your transaction fee will be, because our smart contract on this little line right here for Uniswap swap are about the same complexity. So an average transaction right now that is running at 42 Gwei takes about 3 minutes and 0 seconds to process, costs $25.90. And again, this can go up or down minute to minute. So you will see this change as things go. As I keep refreshing, it may go up a little bit, it may go down. So make sure you have enough ETH in your wallet to process the transactions and enough sand in your wallet to process all the transactions you're looking to do today. And I would recommend that you just go a little bit over on your estimation on ETH, because that's the fluid part, right? We're not kind of in control of the way the ETH network operates minute to minute. What we are in control of course, is how much sand it's going to cost. We will always have 1,011 sand for these 1x1 lands with no additional assets. And for this week's sale, 4,683 sand for the premium assets that are included with the 1x1 land NFT. Okay. So let's see if we have any questions here in the chat here again. And I want to make sure those. Yes, Danny Basting, if you would like to purchase the premium lands on the right side of the map, just keep in mind that during these sales, as the timer is ticking, all of the lands on the map itself are not clickable for purchase. However, if you would like to purchase those lands that are on the right side, after the sale goes live, those should re-unlock. And then if you look inside the market, you're able to get lands still from wave number 6. So if you'd like those premium lands there, that's there. If you want the different assets, because in the last Summer Jam sales, those assets were a little different. So if you're looking to pick up those assets specifically or be around those partners, just wait for that. And if it's not working right as soon as the sale unlocks, we're going to get it working very shortly. I was in a discussion earlier today about that. Keeping in mind, of course, it's 4 a.m. now, so it was actually yesterday, or 5:30 a.m. my local time now. But yeah. So how much for a common land? This is 1,011 sand token. So let's show you right here. You can see on this. This is how much a common 1x1 land is, which is to say that it's just the land by itself. So that land NFT is the same as the premium land in terms of functionality. The 1x1 land NFT does do the same thing, but the premium lands include proximity to our partners for maybe a popularity boost for you, for adjacency, for people to come into your land. Also, of course, they include the premium NFTs that are exclusive to this sale that I mentioned earlier. Danny, though, I do. There was earlier this week. It's a good thing to point out those things like that, because sometimes they can go as our web devs are busy trying to work on so many different things, right? We have a big team working on the web dev side, but when they're thinking about things like the queue system that we're building right now from scratch, sometimes those little things can go, missing. So it's good to point them out. We always try to listen to the community and address your concerns. So when you have them, feel free to voice them. We're going to hear you, and we're going to work with you to make the sandbox better every day. Can I keep the land in my Ledger hardware wallet? Your Ledger wallet has association on the ETH mainnet. The downside is that it does take a little bit longer to process a transaction with a Ledger. So I would say that you're less likely to see that transaction succeed. But at its core, I don't see why not. You'll want to make sure, however, that Ledger has support for ERC 721 tokens. Because if they don't, then you may not be able to see it to bring it back out, unless you have your Ledger backed up with a MetaMask. I'm pretty sure Ledger can do that, where you can have it sync with a MetaMask service or something like that. But again, I don't own Ledger, so I'm not an expert on this matter. This is just the best of my knowledge. All right. John C. says, worth saving sand if you can't buy land today, because they were able to buy sand for just 23 cents back when the summer jam started. And that's an interesting point, John. I would agree with that. The cool thing about what we do here at the Sandbox is that, yes, it is 1011 sand for that land NFT, but it has always been 1011 sand for the land NFT. So if you bought sand for this sale, and you for any reason can't buy land during this sale, hold on to it, because you will be able to use it and you'll be able to get a land NFT in the future. Again, we're going to continue to sell these through late 2022, maybe even early 2023 in small sale events like these. So don't worry if you don't pick up a land today. If you have a situation, maybe you're out, or your wife calls you, or you get a call from mom, depending on how old you are. Don't worry, you'll have an opportunity to pick up lands in the future if you miss out on today's sale for one reason or another. Trezor is the same way, the healthy way. The hardware wallets run into in terms of, like, they're super secure, and you love to see a cold storage wallet, right? It's a very smart thing to do in terms of keeping your stuff secure and making sure that it's in your hands and you can't get hacked, et cetera, right? But in terms of transaction speed, there's always that like kind of triple authentication level that makes things take longer, that decreases your chances of being able to buy them initially. So usually, now again, you should verify with Trezor or with Ledger or any hardware cold wallet that it has support for 721 tokens, ERC 721, because that is what this token is. So if you were to try to store it in that wallet and then it doesn't have support for it, then it's just kind of hanging on your Ethereum network. I mean, it's still there, you still own it, but you would have to find a way to use another service to access your Ledger wallet or your Trezor wallet or whatever in order to be able to pull it out later if you wanted to. Of course, it would still work if your account was associated with Ledger or Trezor, but there's a lot of different factors. If you tried to sell it later or trade it because you wanted to be in another position and somebody wanted your position, it could be complex. And so usually we just recommend the services that we have on the website right now, which is the Bitsky wallet, the Venly wallet, the MetaMask, or other Web3 compatible wallet. And I know that those have some Web3 compatibility, and that's why I say you'll want to do your research on that before you commit your land into those those cold storage wallets. Okay, so Battlestar 8 says there are 90,000 lands on OpenSea. People are just rushing in to flip for profits. Will anything be done to prevent that so that actual makers can buy the land instead? Battlestar, I'm going to tell you an interesting fact about OpenSea.io, and you can verify this for yourself. But on their website right now, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this up so you guys can see exactly what Battlestar is talking about and how that isn't entirely accurate. So if you look on OpenSea.io, you can type Sandbox and you'll see the little blue check mark next to the Sandbox. That means it's a verified collection of things that work in the Sandbox. And if on the bottom left, and I'm not sure if I zoom in if it's going to show that correctly, but I could probably move the window around to make this really clear for you guys. So let me move this around a bit. Boop. And we'll expand the size so you can see what we're talking about here. On the left, you see how it says type? And there's 93,486 lands. So that represents all of the lands that were ever minted and are discoverable by OpenSea.io. But if you look at this, not all lands are available for sale. Many of them just have offers on them and aren't outright available for sale. So if we go to recently created, we're probably more likely to see these. You see all these recently createds right here that don't have a price next to them? If I click on them, I can't buy this land. It's there, it's listed, and it's part of that 93,000 plus lands, but it's not for sale. So that's an interesting thing to understand. And I did kind of the same thing at some point where I was like, whoa. And this is back when I think we had like 30,000 lands that had ever been minted. But that number is actually really good information for anybody who's trying to wonder how many lands will ever be for sale in the future. So 93,486. If I pull up my calculator and I say there was ever 166,464, and we subtract 93,486, you can see we'll only ever, among all of the Sandbox land sales, we'll only ever be able to sell a future 72,978. That number includes the lands that are about to unlock in just 16 minutes. So an interesting bit, and that's why I wanted to highlight it. And thank you for leaving that comment. It's very helpful to people to understand kind of how that economy works, how OpenSea works, as we use them as an official partner for our all of our auctions for our estates, that sort of thing. But let's see here. The Healthy Way says, I want to keep the land for a long term as a digital real estate investment. And that is interesting. The Healthy Way, if you aren't aware right now, it can be quite a strong investment as well. These lands that you have, if you don't create a game on it, which you can, absolutely. There's a lot of different ways to make revenue, actually. So let's talk about all the potential ways that you could earn a revenue as a landowner. First of all, of course, you can create a game on it. If you were to create a game on your land, and I'm going to go ahead and put this up so you guys can see the timer as we talk about this. If you create a game on your land, there are multiple different ways that you can monetize that. First, of course, if you own more than one land, it may be an advantage to you to simply own the land and put a free game on it, because you have this land and you want people to know about you. You want to know about how fun it is to play a game you make, or the art gallery that you have. So you may have a free game, a free experience rather, for people to come play. And in that experience, if it's an art gallery, you're showcasing NFTs that you're selling, and you use it as a marketing principle that way. That could be a way to have this be a good investment in that, where you totally have it free to play and it's all good. Also, you could have users pay sand tokens to get into your land. So right now, if you had a game experience and it's 1,011 sand to pick up the game, and you say, to play this, it costs 1 sand. You just need 1,000 people to come play, right? And you're already at that profit margin point. And everything else from there is free money. So it's to your advantage to make a game experience that's desirable for people to come and pay 1 sand to play. You could, of course, do less. You could do more. And it's all about, like, how do you present to the community that you have this experience that's worth playing, and it's just however much sand to play. Or third option is, let's say you are selling NFTs. If you sold an NFT, you can put your land space behind an NFT gate, where the NFT, if it's in the same wallet as the one they're trying to play with, can serve as a key to unlock it. So you can say, if you own this art piece, then you have access as well to my land in the Sandbox. And maybe the art piece project has nothing to do with the Sandbox, but could serve as additional incentive to your other NFT project. So there's all sorts of different things. Maybe it's a Sandbox NFT that you've created with VoxEdit software, and you minted it, and you said, if you own this asset, this sword, this coat, this cat, this house, castle, whatever you want, you could say this NFT unlocks your access to this space. And so people maybe see a better value proposition for buying your NFT because you have this land. So those are there. And then also, beyond all of that, if you're not a creative type, you don't want to make, down the road, we're going to have the option for people to rent out their lands to game designers, game creators. And I think this is going to become much more desirable when lands are sold out. When they're all actually sold out, I think more and more users are going to want to rent land, because they're going to want to create, publish their experience, have people pay to play on their land. And then that would be sort of like, if you all maybe are familiar with that Axie Infinity economy, that would be sort of like sponsorships, right? And, if you have a land, you're sponsoring the creator to publish on your land with that rental experience, and you take a percentage, and the creator of the game takes a percentage, and everybody wins, right? So there's lots of different things that you can do with that. So let's see, we got some questions here. Yes, Danny Basting says that number should also include the purple plots in the bottom right that are booked. Quite a few. Yes, it does. So everything that's purple and green or has an image on it right now is part of that booking number. Can we put ads in our land? Yes, absolutely. That depends on, of course, your perspective of ad. We have right now inside the software your ability to have an OpenSea.io NFT. So if it's visible on their marketplace, you can display it as an image in your space. And then we also have the ability to, of course, have like text, anything you want. So as you walk up to it, it could pop up a little thing. So I recommend this when we talk about game design. As you get close to the end of a game experience, I recommend that people often self-promote. If you own more than one land and you're thinking, I want to make more than one experience, it doesn't matter so much that your land is here and maybe another one is way down to the right by the Atari space. You could have somebody play this game, and when they get to the end of your game, if they're thinking they love this game, you say, I have another land and it's way down over here. They may just open up the map, go over to your stuff, click, and play your next game because they love what you do as a creator. So it's important. You can advertise in a number of different ways inside the game maker, but those are just a few off the top of my head. Will there be a weather system in the sandbox? Well, over the last couple of months, you may have seen, depending on how long you've been with us, that the lighting system has been fully revamped. We do expect to see a weather system come up, but currently we have some other features that are going to take more priority over that. The lighting system was kind of core, but the weather system itself, it looks like when you see this refreshing right now, it looks like the servers are being changed over to get ready for the wave start in just about 10 minutes. So if you're seeing that scrolling wheel, feel free. It's okay to refresh at this stage, but you don't need to refresh when the timer hits 0. Just to get that little kitty or that little character off your screen there. Let's see here. How do we share Sandbox creations? Well, Brett, you have an opportunity to share them through the marketplace when the marketplace becomes public. Currently, only approved artists are set to release assets on the marketplace. However, if you're creating something for one of our game jams, I can approve you as an artist where you can share them in the marketplace, just not for sale, but only for viewing, for using inside of game experiences. So anybody whose account has that artist role is allowed to do that. We'll be very soon unlocking that artist role to all users, where you'll be able to upload your content into the marketplace, but we won't yet be unlocking the ability for anyone to mint and sell an NFT. That's coming pretty soon after. All right, so we've got about 8 minutes left here before this sale opens up. And once again, if you have questions, feel free to ask them at this time. Really quickly, I'm going to highlight again that it's 1,011 sand to pick up a land today, 4,683 sand to get a premium land that includes the premium assets that are exclusive to this sale. With just 8 minutes left, it looks like our Gawai rate is going to run somewhere around 40 today, which means your Uniswap swap, which is about the same complexity as our smart contract, is running an average of about $25. As we go minute to minute, this may go up or down, but that's the best estimate that I have for you. And we'll go ahead and keep an eye on this as the time gets closer. Staking available for the sand token? Yes, the healthy way. You can stake your sand tokens if you contribute an equal portion of sand and ETH to our Uniswap V2 liquidity pool. By staking sand at staking.sandbox.game, you can earn sand. You will earn a portion of 1.5 million sand that is given out each and every month. Later on, we will change this over soon to a system where you're staking directly on your land to earn the gems and catalysts that are necessary for creating assets, those being ERC20 tokens as well. but you'll see that as that comes closer. For now, not only do you earn the 1.5 a portion, of the 1.5 million sand in the monthly pool, but you'll also be given an NFT guaranteed for contributing to that stake process. Looks like the mythical Yeti Corn says contributing 66.52 sand earned 1.179 average multiplier. So that's a pretty good number if I was to look at that really quickly. 1.179 out of 66.52. Okay. So that's a 21% APY. That's pretty good. Pretty good. And also, it's important to understand as well that when it comes to staking, if you own land, you will actually earn more sand relative. There is a multiplier, and you can look at this over on our Medium at medium.com/sandbox-game. You can see your multiplier on that if you're interested right after this sale is done. After you're finished picking up the lands that you want to pick up there. Looks like a couple of those lands that were available on the NFT marketplace right now are already selling out. So those people who were looking to get in and not have to worry about the hustle and bustle of today's sale are picking up some lands right now. We got about 5 minutes left until the first come, first serve sale starts. Best of luck, of course, to each and every one of you. As the sale continues, feel free to let me know what you've won here today. I feel like it's winning at this point, like there's so many people and so much interest in these lands that it almost just feels like winning when you can manage to secure one. I know a lot of you all feel the same way. I've seen a lot of people talk about the sweats, the stress. It's not too bad. It's not too stressful. Just keep in mind that, again, if you don't for some reason pick up a land NFT today, you'll have a chance to pick up those in any coming sale. It'll be the same price. Daniel has mentioned a new failed sale coming up. Boy, I sure hope not, right? We made quite a bit of changes this week, rolled back some things, got it ready for the same system that we had in the last sale before this one that had gone off pretty much without a hitch. So we will see. And again, if we have different situations come up, different things to report, feel free to leave the comments, as we are constantly adjusting and changing and, trying to improve each and every week to make things a better experience for you. Jazzwolf, it is not a good idea to click on the square of the land that you want to buy. Do not do that until the timer is at 0 or past 0. Okay? Just click on the land and then click on the space that you want. I would say here just a second ago, it looked like there was a little lost connection. Make sure you guys, if you look in the top right, if it says sign in, click that sign in button right now. Make sure that you are signed in if you had a situation with that. You can see it here on the stream, that on my screen, it appeared that happened to me, where this little green announcement icon had changed to a sign in button. So just double check that as you get into this last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Controlled Alt, the servers have been expanded each and every week, where we are rapidly kind of competing against an increase in users as well. The last known report that I saw, we'd increased from 250,000 registered users to 280,000 registered users. And we kind of can look at metrics and see like how that goes week to week, like what can we estimate will be an increase in number of people who are here. But yeah, John C., if you see the wheels spinning right now, it's okay in this last minute to refresh, but once the timer hits 0, don't refresh, because you're going to increase, you'll give yourself undue lag that'll make it so you decrease your chances of picking up a land today. So make sure that if you're thinking about that, don't refresh after that timer hits 0, because it's gonna decrease your chances. Luke Bub says sweating. Well, don't worry, Luke. Like I say, if you guys don't for some reason pick up a land NFT today, that's okay. There will be more sales and more announcements coming very soon. This is just the end of the summer jam of sale events, but we will have more sale events going on all the way through late 2022, maybe into 2023. We will not have a queue system here today. This is a first come, first serve sale. We did take in some metrics from last week's sale when we implemented for the first time last week you could only get one. This week you can get as many as you can book. And we are taking the data from that and making some changes to that queue system. So we'll probably plug and play and test 1 or 2 elements at a time to see, how well it works without, making things too strange or weird for you guys all at once. Just 5 seconds left until the sale kicks off, folks. Once again, if you do pick up a land today, feel free to share it with us at the Sandbox Game over on Twitter. It looks like the bookings are coming through quick already. Just about 50, 60 out there, maybe 70 lands left to book that are not premiums. Premiums still available, looking like around Olive X, pretty popular. Crypto Art, the Wicked section down there in the bottom right by what is the Wicked Craniums selling out very fast. So it'd be interesting to see if you folks are from the Wicked Craniums community. Let me know. I'm seeing that is very quick. BNV, some premiums selling out pretty fast over there as well. Looking like everything's booking up pretty quick though. Okay, so John C. says, think that they booked, now what? If you booked your land, make sure you open up your wallet app. And then if you click on the ETH section, you'll see a little thing here that might say it's pending. If you didn't already get a pop-up for that, then open up your wallet app and click on your ETH balance, and it'll have like a pending transaction that you can verify and set that gas rate. Right now, the gas rate average is 43 Gwei. Will take 3 minutes to process. High speed is also 43 Gwei, and this happens to be for this second. So your average speed is your high speed as well. Everybody taking about 3 minutes to process. That has now just changed to 48 Gwei. 43 Gwei would take 10 minutes to process at this particular second. So you can see how that changes minute to minute. NET, how do you book? Well, what you'll want to do is click on this land, and you'll see down here in the bottom right, there will be a number of sand button that you can click. And so that sand will allow you to purchase that space. And sorry, this is behind my little palm tree there. And it looks like there is a text error. So that is interesting. But just know that the premium lands cost 4,683 sand to purchase here today. Can you tell us more about staking on land? ZXCASD. So staking on land is a long-term plan that we have that was in our white paper, and we will be implementing it after we open up the metaverse a little bit, with the purpose of when staking on land becomes available, you will start to earn not just sand tokens for your staking, but you will earn other ERC20 tokens that can be used to create assets and mint them as NFTs. So when you mint an NFT in the sandbox right now, if we go over to the market, I'm going to show you this just for the purposes of, okay, you see here where it shows attributes, catalyst, epic. So what this is saying is that you can give 3 different attributes because you made it an epic quality item. and it is limited in quantity because it is epic. But you can give 3 different attributes to this asset that affects its performance inside the game. This particular asset has magic and luck applied to it. So the catalyst that was used was for epic quality. And the gems, magic and luck, are their own ERC20 tokens that were applied into the catalyst. So this asset has these stats based on those ERC20 tokens. Those you will earn. When we implement the land staking system, you'll be earning those tokens. Okay. You'll also, of course, earn sand tokens for staking. Among other things, you'll be able to earn sand tokens from the play to earn. And we can see some of these lands are already starting to mint on chain. So that's good to see, seeing those verifications come through already. But hopefully that would be... okay, John C. says, I don't know what's happening. Clicked buy and nothing. Would it be red? So John C., it would be red. If you got a pop-up that came up out of the top right that said error, it would be because someone else booked it at the same time or slightly faster than you. And this can happen. In fact, with these super high demand sales, this does happen often, especially with the 1x1 land NFTs. You'll also see situations like what you may see on my screen here, where this particular tile is gray. But because I didn't clear my cache data on this computer, I like to do that so that you guys can see what can go wrong. When you click on one of these, if they're available to buy, then it's going to load and it's going to have a cost down here at the bottom. That, you know, the premium lands, it looks like today there's a little glitch that it's showing 0. It's definitely not 0. It sells for 4,683 sand. But regardless, that button after the loading wheel has loaded through represents that it is still for sale. So if you have a red square, Jazzwolf, that means that you should be the person who booked it. Now your transaction needs to finalize on the Ethereum blockchain. By opening up your wallet, you can see if you still have one pending. If you don't see one pending there, and it says confirmed, what you can do is you can click on it, and you can click the little arrow here that says view on Etherscan, and it'll open up your transaction. It'll tell you an estimate of how long it will be until it confirms. And if there is a success, then the land is yours. You own it already. Oh, Gian, I'm sorry for that. Yeah, look, there were spammers. Definitely don't try to send them any kind of Bitcoin or ETH or anything like that. Don't ever send it to those links. You don't want them. They're definitely scams. I tried to shut them down here at the early part of this stream, but I don't think I had a chance to delete them because I'm currently live, and so I'll get to them. But please don't click them. Definitely advise that. Our Alex, I apologize that you didn't get one. They are super, super popular right now. Again, if you're looking to get the 1x1 lands, you'll have another opportunity coming up very soon. We'll have an announcement for our next land sale. In the past, the longest amount of time we've had between announcements was about a month. And so you'll see something coming out very soon. We do have plans that I can't discuss yet until all the features are done for them. But we will have another land sale very soon. So hold on to that sand. The 1x1 land NFTs will always be 1,011 sand. So you don't have to worry. As was mentioned earlier, user John C. mentioned earlier, they bought their sand at 23 cents. Now it's, I think it's like 65 cents for a sand right now. Well, John C. now just has even more value, right? Even better. Just holding onto that sand worked out for them very well. Roy Goob says, keep an eye out, guys. They always free up. That is a good point, Roy. There may be an opportunity as we get, it's only now my local time, 6:07. But as the current sale finishes timer gets closer to 6 days, 23 hours, you'll start to see some of these bookings where people might have gotten too excited. They tried to book too many. You may see some of those open up and unlock because those bookings expire after an hour. And if those users got too excited, they didn't have enough sand, they didn't have enough ETH to process those transactions, well, those bookings will just sit there pending until they expire and they'll open up. So I've seen it. My co-host from Monday, Panda Pops, has mentioned this many times where she's ended up purchasing them an hour after the sale starts because she was just patient, hanging out, checking it out, and they re-unlocked and the opportunity was there. So you could look out for that. Roy Gibbs says, I sit here for 2 hours every sale. Usually they're all gone in like an hour and 45 to 2 hours. How can I increase my gas? Jazz Wolf, if you are on Ether, if you're on, Metamask, like you see here, you'll be able to click on the transaction, or you'll see a little thing that just says speed up on it. So you can click that there and then choose the faster rate or what have you. Right now, the average speed is 42 Gwei, which is the same as the second that the sale started. So some of those that you started, if you started it on that second and you chose 42 Gwei, some of those are starting to verify right now. So you may not have to speed up your transaction to get it to go through. This is going to change, minute to minute as it goes again, but sometimes it's going to go down, sometimes it's going to go up. Being as it's 45 now, those 42 Gwei transactions got pushed out a little bit longer, but some of those just verified. So that's just the nature of the ETH. You can speed it up. Now the average is 40, so all those 42 should be clearing up here, in this period. So that's just, that's kind of how that goes. When it comes to the on-chain stuff, it's always important to understand that that varies so much in that short period of time that your stuff can verify without it. But if you want to increase the speed, absolutely you can. It'll probably get done in a good 30 seconds if you did it on high. Oh no, it failed. Okay, so Jazz Wolf, if it failed, then that can only happen if you and another user were able to book it at the exact same second, and then they chose high speed and you chose average or you chose low. And it's unlikely that that happens, but it's becoming increasingly likely as we have more and more and more users trying to buy these lands, and they're becoming super high priority sales. Interesting. So I'm seeing a little bit of server desync, looks like, among different servers. So I would recommend right now, if you see something unlock, do not click on it. Do not try to buy it because you'll probably have a failed transaction. Wait a second here, and hopefully the server desync issue will get sorted out. This could happen for a lot of different reasons. When you use cloud-based services, whether it's Amazon AWS or Cloudflare or any of those, this can potentially happen if multiple different blades of servers don't see things in the same way. So as it is right now, like I said, I would recommend don't try to double book on a space. If you happen to look at it, click on it. What I would do is click on it, and you see that you can see on my screen. I'm going to zoom in on this. Let me zoom in, and I'll move the screen around so you can see kind of what I mean here as I say this. But okay, so you see here over by location, there's going to be a spinning wheel when I click. If it's spinning and it resolves that it was booked or bought, right, then you can't buy it. So if you see one unlock, make sure you wait for that loading wheel to go before you instantly click this buy button, just to make sure you don't accidentally try to double transaction. But this, unfortunately, is just from a server desync that happened across from one to the other. At least I'm experiencing it. You may not be, but it depends probably, on where you are in the world. Over here on the West Coast, it looks like things are a little bit less reliable with the Cloudflare server right now. So when I press refresh, it does the same thing where it apparently seems to clean all up to like as if nothing had been sold. But so it's just one of the little bugs that we're trying to work out here on our server's end, rather, not necessarily on our end. But let's see. Web3 says, I bought land touching Binance on OpenSea. Congratulations to you, sir. Touching Binance is very interesting. Which Binance section did you buy? Did you buy it down there in the lower left, in the right, on kind of around this area right here? Where did you pick it up? Controlled Alt, where do I see my pending ETH transaction? If you have a pending ETH transaction, you'll be able to see it inside your crypto wallet just by clicking on your ETH area. Just click that. It'll be in here on the list. You can click on those and click, whatever gas rate you want to set it at and make that purchase happen. Looks like gas rates have gone down just a little bit. Sandbox token making its mark on those top 15 gas guzzlers as everybody's excited to pick up lands here today. I'm going to make sure I'm going to answer just a couple more questions, and both. I have two. Okay. All right. You bought some land that touches Binance in both areas. That's very cool. I think that land is going to be pretty desirable from their plans. Of course, I can't talk in full detail about what they intend to do, but in the long term, I think that's a pretty good buy. How can others book more than one when I can't even book one? Well, Eddie, that can happen for a variety of reasons. Users like myself, I like to plug in with a wire. I never use Wi-Fi. I have gigabit service. My PC is pretty much brand new, top of the line. All of those things give me that extra couple of milliseconds when it comes to like purchasing, if I was doing so. I currently am not, and I like to show you guys everything that can go wrong. Like the visuals that you see here on the screen, this could be happening because I never cleared my cache data personally. That can help you as a buyer. If you're trying to buy, come in an hour before the sale. Turn your modem off and back on again, your router off and back on again. Clear your cache or temporary data inside your web browser, because my web browser currently thinks that my web browser thinks for a fact that when I press refresh, that everything should be gray color with yellow tiles. But we know that to not be true. We know that there are other updates that have applied. And there's a number of reasons why I might see this way. But when I click on these individual tiles, then it has to load and show me the real, right? But the cache data, the temporary data in my computer wants to show me the fastest possible loading speed. And in doing so, it's showing me all gray tiles and yellow tiles, but they're all being booked right now. So that's important to know. If you're following the steps that we talked about leading up to this launch, you shouldn't see nearly as many errors as I will live stream and broadcast to you, because I'm going to let all the problems happen to me to show you what could possibly go wrong. Fruity says, and this is good feedback, and I appreciate this feedback. Fruity says, I know the system from last time messed up a bit, but it was much fairer. And that's interesting to me, because part of the advantage of the last system was that more individuals were able to get lands. That was the intention. But the downsides to the last sale were that some users were charging, like in order to try to get 2 lands, they were turning up their GUI to 500, right? Which is like, that would mean your transaction fee is half of what it costs to buy a land, right? Something like that, right? So that's a disadvantage. But that said, just know that the Qt system is still being worked on, and the feature for individual booking will still be applied when the Qt system is all done. However, we see it as overall a downside when you have your excited users paying gas through the roof, and a number of other different little things that we can see in our analytics on the backside that we want to make sure that our entire ecosystem kind of has a good, fair experience. And so where it can be fair, you're absolutely right, in the way that more individuals can pick up lands in last week's style. This week's style, this is more fair to those people who are paying the fees, because their fees hopefully were less this week. But we'll see. All right, folks, so that looks like that's the end of the question in the comments section here from the chat. Again, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask us over on our Discord channel or our Telegram channel, as we are answering those questions live right now. I'll be heading over there to help people with support questions as we get going through. But I will see each of you next Wednesday and Saturday. It's only Thursday today, so I'll see you next Saturday on the live stream right here at 1800 UTC, where we'll be showing you how to make games in the Game Maker. And we'll come back. Actually, correction, this Saturday we're doing the Game Jam award ceremony, so definitely join us for that. We had 16 submissions in this Game Jam, and the top 3 will be earning sand tokens for this Very short 2-week game jam. So it'll be interesting to see who wins. And I'll see you all there in the next one. Bye.